Wake Up MLS Match Day 30. Our weekly predictions video is here. We're here to predict and preview matches across Match Day 30 coming up in just a few days. We're coming off of a really chaotic Match Day 29. We'll talk about it a little bit. Coming off of the back of the Leagues Cup final. That was really interesting too. We'll talk about all of that. But before we get to any of those things, as usual, I'm joined by a great cast for today's show. As you can see on your screen, we have Hector from Insert Name FC. We've got Hitman Honda. We've got Musa Seca from Mo Football. Hey, Mo, I'm glad you're here, bro. And then Ednan from We Are Austin TV. Ednan, welcome back. It's also been a minute since you've been here. Lads, man, we're here. Match Day 30. Some big matches for more than a few of our teams on the show today. Before we get to any of that, man, I've been told in the comments that we don't often react enough to, the previous matchups from the last week. They want to have us revisit some of our takes. It does kind of make sense considering what this show is. So let's introduce, I think, just a new quick segment at the front of these shows. All right, we'll do what we learned. One thing that each of us learned from the previous match day, in this case, Match Day 29. I'll kick mine off first before we jump into any of the previews. Because I think I'm convinced after what I watched, and of course, one of the most MLS weeks of all time. But I also just kind of what I saw in the Leagues Cup final, how I expect that to carry into the rest of the season. Man, I think we're witnessing right now under Wilfried Nancy, we could be witnessing maybe the greatest individual MLS team of all time. It's probably a crazy shout to some. I don't think it is. I think it's pretty logical. The only team that stacks up to what I'm seeing right now with the Crew, which if they go on to win Triple C next season, I think they'll definitely cement themselves. I think the only team that comes close to me is like Toronto 2017 with Giovinco. It might be 2019. No, that was 2017. I think right now, man, seriously, if they go on to win MLS Cup this year, regardless of their standing with Triple C, this is probably the greatest individual run a team collectively under one manager across like a 2-year span has it really ever had. I can't think of another one. Can you guys?
No.
I mean, I would say Bruce Arena's LA Galaxy.
How long was that run?
It was a pretty. I mean, like the way I saw it was clear that they were one of the they were top dog every season. What it felt like, and obviously I got the Vietnam flashbacks with the back-to-back MLS Cups that I had to always remind myself by. But I mean, you're also talking about Beckham, Donovan, Keane. It was a pretty stacked LA Galaxy, and probably one. I think some would say probably one of the golden eras, which is crazy because we're talking about LA Galaxy for the LA Galaxy's run.
You think that team beats this version of Columbus Crew?
No, because I mean, I'm just saying someone that could be contested for that one. I think with Wilfried Nancy, I'd take Wilfried Nancy over Bruce Arena any day. But
as far as MLS goes, yes. As far as MLS goes, yes. But like Jose said, if we're adding CCC, right, or CONCACAF Champions League or whatever, right, Columbus definitely does take the cake on that. Because Galaxy only had like one, and it wasn't even during that era.
Yeah, was that pre-CCL? Or like, what was it called back then?
It was the Champions. I think CONCACAF Cup.
Okay, yeah. So it's pre-Champions League era. Yeah, man, I don't know. And granted, I don't even like comparing eras, right? Like, because it's not fair. Like, typically the most modern team is going to be the most well-drilled, have the modern tactics implemented. They're better athletes in general. Like, there's a bunch of reasons why you can't compare eras. But you consider the star power of like the names that Hector just reeled off, Keane, Beckham, Donovan, all playing together, and compare that to what Nancy has built in Columbus under how he's turned around Christian Ramirez's career. I feel like being able to acquire Cucho Hernandez for a big fee and then get the ROI back from that move. I don't know, bringing back Rossi to MLS, to bring him to Columbus after everything he kind of went through, ups and downs in his career. I don't know. It feels like all the pieces were sort of meant to be, and they formed what I'm going to consider to be. I mean, I really do think just the best team MLS has probably ever seen. I can't think of another team that I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be the best this league has seen. I mean, Giovinco, I think, is probably the best individual player I've probably seen in MLS, like just on his own, putting a team on his back and just fucking doing what he has to do, especially jumping into MLS very quickly. I think collectively as a unit, the Crew probably had that Toronto team beat. I really think so. But 100%. They won Triple C, so it's like it's tough. Like they won the Champions League. So
I think what Columbus has shown that there is ways of building a strong roster with the limitations that everyone keeps complaining about with the salary cap, with the regulations that you have of designated players and U22 initiatives, that it still can be done. You can still build a deep team where you can rotate guys out and still compete in tournaments like the Triple C compete in Leagues Cup, compete in MLS. Things that other MLS teams are trying to implicate, because you got to remember, there's teams that are grabbing guys from Columbus almost every year. Pat Onstad, for prime example, was with Columbus with the Columbus Group before he went and took over the Houston Dynamo. So it's just what everybody does in sports, right? You go to the organizations that are doing successful things and grab guys from that organization and try to have them implement what they have developed over there. And I think that you have Cherundolo complaining about salary cap and roster size, and then you have Wilfred Nancy, who has never complained about that. And look what his team is doing. Arguably, even a team that, even though they were kind of in the mid part of the standings, we never questioned what that team's going to do come playoff time. And look where they are now.
Yeah, bro. I agree. I don't know, man. The Crew are doing everything right. I think if they lose Nancy, it's going to feel like when Manchester City loses Pep at some point, right? Like it's such a weird comparison, but like it's going to feel like that. I feel like he had that kind of an impact in a short time frame. And if you're a Columbus fan, you're going to want to keep him around as long as you can. So anyway, that's my one thing that I learned this past week in MLS. Granted, it was Leagues Cup, but I'm counting it. Hector, what was yours, bro?
Friggin' Bobby Wood just coming out of nowhere, man.
He's relevant again.
We counted them out, right? We counted out New England. We didn't think they had any shot at winning their matchup, and I think also, man, it's just one of those games where we were kind of like, I don't think anybody wants to watch this, and literally coming out of the woodwork, Bobby Wood puts in a shift and makes us all eat our words. I don't think a single one of us picked New England to win that game. And
I think a bunch of us said 0-0, bro. I'll be honest. I think
we all said
half of us said 0-0.
I think we all said this was going to be a snooze fest. And Bobby Wood was like, I'm gonna watch a video right now of the tea crate falling down on the field, and I'm just gonna get inspired. And so,
yeah, bro, it was crazy. I thought Fatmob had a typo when I saw who scored on the sheet. I was like, what the hell? Bobby Wood. And sure enough, bro, I mean, I can't think the last time New England got 5 goals in a game. I'll be honest. Like, I probably have to Google that shit. I don't even know when the last time. This is probably the biggest win in what, few seasons? Like, I think so. But anyway, bro, I like that one. Hondo, what about you, bro?
Kind of adding to what Hector said, it doesn't matter how far below or like low on the table you are in the MLS, you still have a chance up until like the last days of MLS. That's what I've learned. Pretty much. Bro, Fire time with NYCFC. That gives hope. I'm just saying, the hope is alive for Chicago.
Bro, on that thread, we talked about this in the pre-show, right? On that thread, let me just look at this. Anybody at home, check this shit out, bro. Look, this is crazy. The Western Conference right now, between, let's just say 5th and like 11th, is probably up for grabs. Legitimately, like probably up for grabs, like those spots to an extent. There's 7 points there. 7 points between 5th and 11th. So I think what Honda's saying, bro, is spot on. But on top of that, if you're an MLS fan who lives in Texas, you probably support one of these 3 teams that are all going to be duking it out for the final 2 playoff spots. Right now, it's Houston and Austin. As a Dallas fan, I think that will change. I think that will change. That's the bet I'm making. We'll see. But, bro, I mean, this is insane. Like, this is crazy. And then you never know, right? And Minnesota United keeps things going up a little bit. Kansas City and St. Louis kind of gets a little bit tough. But, I think you're spot on. San Jose, they're the only ones that I'm like, there's no fucking shot. There's no way. Like, even with what happened this past weekend, ain't no way. So, but yeah, man, I agree wholeheartedly. All right, Mo, what's your one thing you learned this past week?
I would say it's quite painful to have a 2-0 lead, no matter what team you're playing against. That's still my most hated, most painful scoreline to have ever. And having it 3 times, it makes it even worse. And now knowing that, 3 Texas teams are trying to go to the playoffs. So hopefully one of you, lose a few points for City to get a chance. But
I'm banking on Houston losing those points. We'll see.
At this time, I'm taking as there's still a slight chance.
Well, yeah, there's a chance, right? There's a shot. At 24 points, it gets interesting. It does start this weekend, though. Who knows, bro? The most MLS shit ever would be St. Louis using what Austin did, I think, towards the middle of the season, a win on the back of LA Galaxy to propel a good run of form. I don't know. We'll find out.
Hey, we came back from them, right? They haven't beat us yet.
That's true. Technically, Was it
Yeah,
all draws? All draws, all 3 games?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And the last one we came back, so
Interesting.
and it's at City
Very
Park.
interesting.
Everybody's back.
New signings, fresh blood. Yeah, bro. I could see it. I could see it. Ednan, your one thing you learned for this past week.
Oh, well, sorry if this is boring, but Osman Bukhari. I learned that he's going to be just fine in MLS. New Austin FC signing, record transfer fees, $7 million. A bit of criticism saying, hey, why would you spend that much money on just one guy when the situation is what it is? In Austin, you could have maybe gotten 2 guys with that kind of money. However, against Nashville, we see a very individual goal, yes, but his speed and also his IQ to be able to win that ball, nick that ball, and then, of course, finish the game off, securing 3 very important points for his team, for Austin FC. So, sorry that it's boring, but I learned that Osman Bukhari is going to be just fine in this league.
Hey, bro, not everybody's signings work, so I'll tip the hat. Hey, it was from the get-go. I was actually decently impressed with Bukhari. So I honestly didn't know who he was before coming into the league, but that's the beauty of this league. You can discover gems all the time, in all honesty. So, and St. Louis got some signings that are working out well too. And I will, I'll pat my own back a little bit. Dallas has a couple that seem to have a good debut. So strong window, it looks like, for the most part, across the league. All right, lads, look, we got the one thing we learned. Let us know in the comments down below how you felt about some of those. Austin fans with Bukhari, St. Louis comeback potential, remontada. I don't know. We'll see. And, bro, if there's a Bobby Wood fan in the chat, I want to meet that dude in the comments down below. All right? Let me know how you feel about your boy.
That's
all right, guys.
Meme of Family Guy with the WNBA. Yay.
still has the Wood Revs jersey. I like that, bro. I like that. I want to meet that person down in comments. All right, man. Let's jump into our first game. Starting in the Eastern Conference, the first match of our preview for this video, Columbus hosting New York City FC. You guys just heard me kind of gushing over Nancy and the Columbus crew. I mean, this is a 3 versus 5 matchup, but keep in mind, even though Columbus is in 3rd place, they're, 3 games out or 3 games in hand from the Leagues Cup? So they could easily propel themselves to 2nd. I think they'd be just shy of 1st if they won all of those matches in hand, just behind Inter Miami. So it looks like they're coming into prime form at the right time off the back of a Leagues Cup victory. I expect Columbus to keep this thing rolling. I'm kind of curious just across you guys all together. I mean, after what New York City FC put in as far as the shift against Chicago Fire, which was pretty uninspiring, does anybody back them to really kind of – Davi's not here today, so we can speak freely, bro. You ain't got to – you know what I mean? You don't have to back his team at all. How do you guys feel about this
even
one?
if he was here, I'd say they get slapped up, bro. After that performance in Chicago, man, come on, man. He'd be saying that as well.
Both times. Both games against Chicago, home and away, they drew 0-0 both times. Bro, that's what.
Like, here's the thing. They're going to go
boring
into
ass
Columbus, right? And Columbus, we know how much of a fortress that is. LAFC losing to them 3-1 in the Leagues Cup as well. New York City, they got quite a bit to fix before they make it into the playoffs. Will that happen? Maybe after this Columbus game, but this Columbus game, I do see a clear winner, and it's Columbus crew.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think for the biggest stat point that I found prior to this game was that NYCFC haven't won a regular season match since July 3rd. So you let that shit sink in, right? And even if you count Leagues Cup, let's throw Leagues Cup in the mix because they did advance, right? They only had 1 outright win. They had 3 wins, I believe, that came due to penalty kicks.
They did play good up against them in Leagues Cup, though, so I don't know if that takes into account. But
yeah, I mean, in a tournament with Cup, I don't know. It's like hard to judge how that's going to translate over to MLS, but it was recently, so I'll agree with that statement. I don't know, guys. I mean, Mo, how you feel about this one, man? Knowing what we know about these two teams, is it just straightforward Columbus from your perspective? I like what Honda had to say.
I don't know. So I'm wondering, like, the roster. Are they going to do are they going to bring in some subs just because of those guys have played 4 games in small spurt of time, or
True.
like how heavy of that roster change will look like? And from the videos we're watching, they're partying a lot too. So,
and they have a match tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah.
They got. I don't know if that's gonna be the match they rotate everybody out, but they're making up a previous match that got postponed against the Union. So that happens tomorrow at the time of recording, Wednesday at the time of upload on the same day. So we'll learn a little bit more about, I guess, who could be available for this upcoming match of the weekend. But yeah,
I think
anyway,
probably Columbus still. But yeah, I'm just wondering how big of a roster change it will be. But the coach is still the same, so if they use the same philosophy, so I'll definitely say Columbus still because they're on a hot streak. So why stop it there?
Who's got Columbus by double-digit goals? Not double-digit goals. Sorry, by more than 1 goal.
Oh my god, double digit goals. That would be crazy.
No, that'd be fucking crazy. Honestly, if that happened, I'm like, Davi, leave, bro. Don't come back. It's double digit goals would be insane.
Which with
I'll
John.
retire.
Be like, David can go to Chicago. There you go.
I got this one like 3-1 Columbus, provided that Columbus actually like rotates a little bit against the Union, and then we see some of their starters back for Saturday. That's what I'm expecting. For them to have some of the guys back and still put in a good shift against a New York City FC team who needs to win, but hasn't been very good on the road, or frankly hasn't been very strong over the last couple months. So I'm going to say like 3-1. Predictions. Give it to me.
I see a 2-1, maybe.
2-0.
They played a lot.
2-0. I like that.
Give me 3-1 Columbus. 3-1 Columbus.
My man knows ball. Hector,
I'm gonna go with 2-1. I think with having a game kind of is going to affect them in some way. Not so much, but I think MLS is always going to be MLS, and I think that there's going to be at least some slowness going into the game, but I think they will find their form. And I mean, the attack is lethal. That's just everybody knows that.
Agreed, bro. Yeah, they have more than enough to work with up there. And again, who knows? Maybe potentially, right? The best team we've ever seen. If they were to lose to NYCFC on the week that I said that on the show, fuck, I never lived that down. That would be tough. But either way, we'll see what happens this week. I think we all collectively have Columbus winning this game, whether it's close or not. Let's move on to a game that has a lot of implication potentially for playoffs in the Western Conference. Austin FC hosting Vancouver at the Q2. Big game. You can see it right here. 4 points separate these two teams. They have experience against one another. Austin was NBC placed not super long ago. A good game and a good test for both teams who do want to kind of make that push into playoffs. I think this is kind of one of those potential first round playoff matchups that you could see, this year. So we'll see what happens there. But Hernan, before we get to anybody else's predictions, bro, you're the Austin FC guy, man. Talk to me. This is a big game. I mentioned we already saw the table during this episode, right? How close everything is. Do you guys come out with a dub in this one, or is Vancouver going to be a little bit tricky?
I think you have to come out of this game with a dub if you even want to think about playoffs. The schedule coming up for Austin FC, after Vancouver, you see Toronto, and you don't get a break. I mean, you can call it a break, whatever you want. It's still a derby, but, you can kind of relax against Houston, and then after that, you still have a ton of work to do if you want to think about getting into the playoffs. Why do I say that it's a must win? Why do you have to win it? Because of those teams that you face. You still have RSL, you have Portland, you have LAFC, you have the Galaxy, you have to close out against the Rapids, which a couple seasons ago, you were looking at that game and you were thinking, yes, I got to close out against, teams that are easy. Colorado was once looked like that at one point. So Vancouver coming into Q2 Stadium, you would think that it's favorable for Austin FC because they are at home, because that crowd is going to play that 12-man role. Now, you look at the players, when you look at it on paper, Vancouver is the team that is probably more favored to win this game because of the kind of firepower that they have. I'm talking about Brian White. I'm talking about Gauld, Fafa, Picoult. However, I do want to say this. They play today against Pacific in an hour here at 9:30 Central Time. They lead that game in aggregate 1-0. But they've been resting since August 7th. They got eliminated in the Leagues Cup by Pumas, which Austin FC took care of here in Austin, Texas. Late penalty save, could have been 3-3, right? But is that going to play a factor against Vancouver? Austin FC had a bit of a tiny run in Leagues Cup. They got out of their group. Then you see them perform against Nashville. It looked like maybe they're still in stride. It's perfect for Austin FC. You're coming into this game, running into it pretty much. You're hitting the ground running, as some folks might say. And like I said, Vancouver could be a bit sluggish, could be a little bit on the just rough side of things. And that's exactly what you want if you're an Austin FC fan. You want it to be at home. You want 3 points because, like I said, the next games coming up are not going to be easy, bro. And no disrespect to Houston at all. I'm just saying that could be a part where you could think like, hey, maybe this is 3 points that I also need to pick up. No disrespect to H-Town.
Hey, I don't know. I was like, man, of all those matches, Houston's got to be the one you relax. No, I mean, look, I see why. I think maybe you're thinking more from like a rotation standpoint, but I mean, you don't think the fans will really want to be up for that one and maybe feel like another one of these games you could kind of sacrifice? I don't know. I feel like the Houston-Austin, with playoffs on the line, a big match in Houston and Austin will have the fans like wanting to be up for that one.
No, Houston and Austin is always a big game. I mean, you never want to lose versus Houston. They're just 2.5 hours away, 3 hours away, depending what part of Austin you're in. I mean, this is a game that even the players want to win. Nobody wants to lose to your in-state rivals, right? And with the kind of games that Austin FC has left, you have to pick up all the points that you can. Thankfully, the new signings are looking really good for Austin FC. You know, Bucari being one guy, but also Mikel Dessler. I mean, my word, he has been like just like a glove for Austin FC. And not only has his contributions in the defense been great for the club, by him signing for Austin FC at the right back position that he fills in, he now frees up John Gallagher, which is a guy that used to play for ATL, and he's also experienced in European football. But this guy, John Gallagher for Austin FC, in the attack at that left wing position, he's been almost like a new signing. And it's kind of crazy because you got a 2-for-1 by signing Mikel Dessler. Mikel Dessler was free, and you're able to push up John Gallagher, who by the way, got the first goal against Nashville this past game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I noticed that immediately. Like, you can actually play him as a winger now, which is really interesting, especially service wise. It gets really interesting. All right, guys. So how do we feel? I mean, look, I agree that Austin needs to win this. The big question is, will they win it? Right? Like,
I'm very curious to see what everybody has to say about Austin and very curious.
Hector, I know you love Austin, so we'll start with you. We'll go from the good to the bad. How do you feel about Austin's chances against a team who's just slightly above them in the table?
I think that this is a very advantageous point. I mean, you mentioned the 3 teams from Texas, right? In the next couple of games, all of them are going to have to face Vancouver. Vancouver does have a few games at hand right now, and I'm guessing that has to do a little bit with the Canadian tournament that's currently going on. But this is also kind of one of those. Honestly, at this point, you can't fuck up. This is the home stretch. This is the last couple of games. You know, early in the season, you're like, I can get away with losing a few matches here and there, but now it's any loss, especially when you're going up against a team that you're fighting your points near to jump over them, it's going to be impactful. This is, you know, how everyone says, this is a real 6-pointer opportunity. And I think, yes, Austin FC needs to take advantage of this. This is at this point, every team that's in that wild card discussion, in that little bubble, either trying to get out of that wild card game or get into that wild card game, every game is a 6-pointer now. And I think for Austin FC, yes, their signings are looking pretty positive right now, and I think that's something to take real notice into. I think Vancouver, they have this semifinal matchup that they have to have, and if they are able to win that game, now they got to go up against Toronto FC in that final. So I think that they have other things to worry about, but at the same time, they're not safe where they are, and I think the fact that they're focused more towards that tournament, I'm guessing, might hurt them a little bit. That is a couple of days off for them to really focus on resting because it's right into going into Austin. This game is in Austin, correct?
Yeah, for the Q2.
In the Q2, you got to go in that Texas heat. It's not easy. I mean, Toronto barely got a 1-0 victory against the Dynamo. It is not an easy thing to deal with when it comes to dealing with heat. So I think if anything, this is a time where Austin needs to take full advantage. Their players are used to these conditions. Vancouver is not. If they don't get 3 points, it is going to hurt them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, bro, like it is a must win for Austin. It is a must win for Austin. Like, if you want to be in that playoff race where you have control, right? Because at this point they have control. There's nobody below them that has significant amount of games in hand or anything else where they can overtake them. Like, it is legitimately just get results when you need them the most right now while you are in the driver's seat to at least minimum make a wild card spot.
I just want to add this note too, just real quick. Somebody that has been key for Austin FC recently has been Alex Rigg. Now, this is a guy that has been known in this league with New York City FC. He did everything that he, did. But ever since he got the captain armband back for Austin FC, because it was bouncing around from him to Drusi, well, now it's Alex Rigg 100%. And out of his 11 goal contributions in 2024, 9 of them have come from him wearing the captain armband. That tells me something, that it brings something out in him that the captain armband should do to those leader kind of players. And this is no diss to any player out there that is talented and is kind of low-key forced to be taking the captain armband because you're just the best player on the team. But there's some guys like Alex Rigg that are natural born leaders, and that captain armband is bringing something out in him. And I love to see it. And I think against Vancouver, I know against Vancouver, Alex Rigg is either going to have a goal or an assist, because right now he's on fire and hopefully he keeps it going.
I actually think that's a good shout. But I actually think the bigger player who stepped up recently, because it's been Driussi for so long as just like the one kind of shouldering it, is Danny Pereira. for me when I watch Austin play. I feel like Danny's the one that, and what I mean by that is not that he wasn't always an impactful player, but Ring was too, right? Wasn't he on DP money at one point or still is?
Yeah, he just got bought down from all the teams choosing if they were going to do the young DP format or the DP format. Austin chose the U22.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's not even a knock on Ring. It's just that, like, he big player, so is Danny Pereira. But when I watch Pereira, it's like his game on the pitch has evolved a little bit. He's taking a more progressive step forward when I watch him play.
Good shout. And I don't want to spend too much time on the Austin subject, but on Danny Pereira, we might be seeing the last of him in MLS. So if you're listening to this pod and you're wondering who is Danny Pereira, take advantage of the last couple of games that you might see Danny Pereira in this league. And why do I say that is because he just got called up to the World Cup qualifiers of his country. And this is the first time that he can travel outside of the United States because he was in the country under asylum. So he now got his paperwork in order. His lawyer did his thing, and he's now traveling with Venezuela to Bolivia to play at altitude, right? And then they have to travel to Venezuela to face Uruguay. Now, Venezuela is currently in 4th place. If they make it to the World Cup, if they make it to their first ever World Cup, Danny Pereira's stock is going to rise tremendously. And he's already getting shouts by the ex-coach and the current coach saying that this is a player that could bring a lot to the future of the national team. So Danny Pereira, good shout, dude. Good shout. You know what you see in Austin FC. So if you're listening to this, check out Danny Pereira. You will not regret it. One of the best midfielders in this league right now. One of the best young midfielders in this league right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like Danny. At least as a player, right? When I said, I feel like he's just taking a step from an 8 to somewhat of a 10, so much so that I would be okay with not even playing Triusi in that role. That's all I was really going to say. Especially when you look at the fact that Danny Pereira has I think he's created the most big chances for Austin FC at this point of the season. So that's a hell of a stat and hell of a shout for what he plays. All right, guys. Predictions in. I think Austin have to win this game. I think because at home they will. So I'm going to go with, I think it'll be close. And I think Vancouver will get on the score sheet. I think it's going to be a 2-1 for Austin. I think they'll leave it late.
Yeah, I see the same thing.
2-1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hector?
I'm thinking 2-1 Austin FC.
All right, Mo?
I'll break the tie. I think it'll be a 2-2. It's going to be a tie game.
Okay.
Could easily be because, and I'll say this, Mo, good take on that, because the win in Nashville is great. 3 points is awesome, but let's also be 100% real. Stuver saves a penalty from Mukhtar that usually rarely does not happen versus a guy like him. I believe before that penalty, it was 3 out of 4 for him. He was 75% from there. And we all know that keepers, they only have a 20% chance of saving any kind of PK. And also Stuver, another big save against Anunga in the second half that nobody believed that he actually saved it because it was a powerful shot and the reflex to be able to get a hand to it was just, cat-like. So if Stuver doesn't have I think the match rating he received was a 9.5, you probably tie that game 2-2. So if Vancouver is able to have Gald, Brian White, Fafa Pico on their best day, that defense from Austin FC is going to have to drop 10 out of 10 match rating games. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see, man.
That's a good shout. And with that said, what's your prediction?
Man, with that said, I'm going to agree with everybody. I'm going to go with the 2-1. It could be 2-0. However, I know what kind of power Vancouver has. I know that this is a team that historically is tough to beat from an Austin FC perspective. I think we've only beat them once. They've beat us at least 4 times. The best thing is that you're in Austin, so must win. I see a 2-1, but it easily, just like Mo said, it could be a draw 2-2. Dare I say 3-3.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Ryan Gald is like he's like top 5 at big chances created for all of MLS. So his presence will be felt. Caps fans, I'm telling you, we're not disregarding Vancouver. I just think at this point of the season, if Josh Wolf wants to taste anything similar to, what he was kind of going through in season 1 or season 2, sorry, this just has to be one of those ones where he ultimately doesn't matter how it gets done, just has to get done. Because if not, it could spiral really quickly.
Also, Falk complains to Don Garber about, maybe don't play in Texas in August.
It also could be down to just who wants it more. Vancouver, just like you showed us, they're higher in the table, and they could be thinking about other things. So they might have games to throw away in their seek for the spot, right? And Austin just has to be hungry about it. They have to go out there and get it. This is Austin's game to win, honestly.
Yeah,
you're at home, man. You're at home.
Well, game to win and game to lose. I really think that just because, you're at home. We know how much of a fortress every home team feels like in MLS. Like it's hard to get road wins. But for that reason, at the most crunch time moment of the year, when you have a rival breathing down your neck, these are the moments that you create separation. And if you don't, it honestly ends up being a move that could tank Wolf and sort of see a season. Again, he could be out after the season if things go south here. So we'll find out. I mean, I don't know. Austin hasn't fired him yet, so he could fucking stick around. I don't know. We'll find out, bro. I have no idea. But all right, man, cool. That was a good one for the second match in our preview. Moving on, another Texas team involved in this one. Traveling out to LA though for LAFC as they host the Houston Dynamo. Big game coming off of a few days in a row where LAFC had just been dragged on the timeline. Another final that they've lost, right? The questions around Cherundolo now, and kind of for whatever reason, whether or not he's the guy for LAFC because they can't convert, I guess, when it matters most outside of a one-off occasion, and it was the Union that they beat, right? So, but yeah, man, look, big game. LAFC pissed off. I don't know if they're going to be so pissed off that they kind of run it up against Houston. I think Houston's still going to be a formidable opponent. But let's talk about it. Hector, how do you see how tough is this road match going to be for you guys coming off of the Toronto L?
It's going to be physical. I think the Toronto loss is a tough one to swallow because of. I think if anybody saw that game, it was the Dynamo was just the better team on the field. But it doesn't matter if you're the better team on the field. The matters is what's at the end of the scoreboard. And one moment that Toronto was able to take advantage of, put one in the back of the net, and Dynamo had plenty of chances to put one back in the net, and they just couldn't do it, which leads to pressure. Right now, pressure on Ponce, pressure on Sebas, pressure on Ibrahim.
And what happened to Ponce, by the way? I mean, what was it? Like he just shot for shot, just couldn't hit the frame. Like, what was it?
It just, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think as soon as you put that Dynamo jersey as a striker, you just don't know how to find the goal. I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah, you're the Chelsea of Major League Soccer. I feel you on that. I feel you.
We don't spend like they do.
Take it easy.
Sorry, Musa. You got John Felix. Be happy.
I am.
But yeah, at this point, it's just you're asking it's getting kind of exhausting if you're a center back, if you're a fullback, right? You've noticed the Dynamo have done a lot of switches in their formations and all that whenever they're on the attack. Dorsey comes up into the attack. Franco kind of becomes like a third center back, which kind of becomes a back three. It's bad when it starts getting bad at goal scoring opportunities when Arthur just says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna send one just to see if I can put one in."
True.
And I think at this point it's just you got to get Achi some help, man. I think Latif Blessing has his moments as well. I think ever since he came into the Dynamo, he's been a savvy MLS vet and knows how to score goals. So much so where I think he's kind of jumped himself over Coca Cascadia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's still injured, right? He's still out.
Yeah, he's still out with an injury.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to LAFC, man, this team, last time they played them was in a very physical semifinal. I think that was last. Yeah, that was the last time they played because last time we were supposed to play them, a hurricane happened, and
I forgot about that.
So I think LAFC they know how to play against the Dynamo. They know how to get Dynamo irritated, and they know that the back line is going to be a crucial part for the Dynamo. So I know that they're going to try to do their best. I mean, they have Giroud. Giroud made his starting debut in the Leagues Cup final, even bagged a goal, even though that it didn't pan out the way they hoped to. But I think if there's anyone that can at least compete with that attack, it's going to be the Dynamo's back line. I think that they have proven to be one of the stronger back lines in MLS, and I think they're going to keep that going. But it is going to be a challenge, especially on the attacking side, because, like I said, LAFC knows how to defend against the Dynamo.
Yeah, I agree. Bro, isn't it crazy? Like, you guys play back-to-back weeks. Because the game you referenced gets made up on the 7th. So, like, literally, you go to LA, and then you fly back to Houston and run it back a week later.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy, bro. It looked like 2 legs, you know what I mean? Like a fucking like a Champions Cup tie or some shit.
Yeah, I wish our makeup game was in LAFC.
Back to back weeks.
Why couldn't it have been San Jose when the hurricane happened?
Fair enough. Yeah, you could use those easy sort of 3-pointers coming.
I think especially now where every game is going to be crucial. Dynamo right now has a slight advantage over the other Texas teams because they have a game at hand. That game at hand happens to be LAFC. So I don't know how much of an advantage it can be. But like I said, I think the one thing about the Dynamo is with that back line, you feel confident that all you got to do is just put one in the back of the net and call it a day and hope you can get something positive just because of how solid that backline has been. But at the end of the day, we need some goal scoring. And like I say many times right in the group chat, I'm not saying Ezekiel Ponce needs to score goals, but he needs to start scoring some fucking goals.
Yeah, you need to start scoring some goals. That's why they signed you, bro. That's why they signed you. Yeah, man. This game's gonna be tough. I agree that it will be very physical. It's just like how look. I saw the one game. Giroud obviously scored the equalizer in that cup final. I honestly haven't watched. I haven't seen it.
You watched Leagues Cup?
Yeah, honestly, bro. Yeah, I really didn't watch all that much, but I think it's I don't know how to feel about that front three and how much of a threat they pose. Bouanga obviously is in Bouanga form, like prime Bouanga form, so that's a threat all by himself. You got Bogusz on the other side. Tillman's still injured, and then you have Giroud, who's trying to kind of settle in, with LAFC. So that front line's interesting. Getting physical with a dude of that size should also be interesting, but he is like almost 40, so maybe there's some hope there. I think it'll be a close game that LA probably nets out. But I could see you guys going back to Houston and getting those points. Like I could see you guys splitting these back-to-back games that you have with LAFC. Personally, if you guys were to go to LA and get a draw, that shit would actually be crazy. I think 1 point on the road would be amazing, especially for where we all are now at this point in the season. How do you guys see it, man? I think most fans will look at this like LAFC should win this. They have all the motivation in the world, but at the same time, they're pretty comfortable at number 2 in the West right now. And I don't know if Cherundolo starts looking at rotational opportunities to close out the regular season.
I think for me, it depends on their attitude coming off of it. So we all think that it will be a pissed off LAFC that will come and play Houston because they just lost. But it could also be the other way around where they're like, yet we've lost another final. And now you have to play one physical game right after it.
Yeah.
There's still that one question of, I guess, the mentality of how the team will come back. And then Cherundolo having all these questions mark on, because did he get out-coached or was it just a Belly Columbus team that beat him?
It's just ironic that we're asking these questions of Cherundolo as like not too long ago he was literally a candidate for the U.S. men's national team. You know what I mean?
That doesn't say much though.
Thank God.
I just like to look up. I was like, hey, Columbus Crew did the whole fan base a favor, maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, would you imagine if he has to go and compete against other better coaches? That would have been.
It's just hard to know because we've only ever really seen him with superstars.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. For me, I think it's less about the mentality of the team, and I think it's actually more about who he actually chooses to play. Like, because he knows, again, back-to-back games against Houston, one of these games can be rotational. It can maybe be the other one on the road, but if it ends up being this one because it's a home game and maybe they back the crowd to be a factor, I don't know. Like, if they rest some of the starters coming off of that loss, to me, that's more indicative of Houston seeing this as an opportunity to steal a point, right, and try to net out a strong result at home. But I think the mentality, because they have guys like Hugo Lloris, because they have guys like Olivier Giroud, true winners, World Cup winners, it leads me to believe that maybe mentality won't be as big of a factor as it could be. Traditionally we think about teams in MLS. That's just my take. But again,
Giroud get kind of hides himself when he doesn't perform well. So.
Don't get me started on Giroud, bro. Honestly, as an Arsenal fan, I have a love-hate relationship with that man. There were moments he was brilliant. There were moments where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Then he went to Chelsea and then was brilliant. So,
Was he? Was he brilliant?
He won with us, right?
As soon as you put that Champions League patch on him, yeah.
God. Anyway, I'm not.
We digress. Yes.
We digress. Ednan, bro, I know you're like this is like your second team, bro. So talk to me about LAFC, man. How are we feeling about your boys going into this game? Again, they got to turn around and go right down to Texas after this. So does that impact this game at all?
Remember, the 3-2-5 is always listening.
First of all, these are not my boys. However, I am enjoying this downfall from LAFC. I really, really am, man.
No, you don't mean that. You don't mean that.
I really am. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, brother. Because somebody had to bring this team off of its high horse, man. I mean, this is one of the choke artist teams of MLS, and I mean it with no disrespect. However, you can take it if you want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so many finals that they've been to, and the LAFC fans that really care about this team will tell you the exact same. They have to be pissed that they've lost so many finals. I mean, imagine if you go back and if you're able to change the outcome of every final the LAFC has been in, they'd be one of the most decorated teams in this league, mate. I mean, they have lost 5 finals now?
To an extent.
I mean, they've lost so many finals. It's hard to believe that Steve Cherundolo is still employed, but it kind of just tells you what's the reality of this league, right? And honestly, what else are they going to get? You know, Steve is so involved with this group of players. I mean, you could bring somebody else in, but it'll be starting over from square one. But I want to say this on the Giroud topic. I know that y'all just brought him up right now. To me, the next couple of performances from Giroud is going to tell me what he came to MLS for. He did score in that Leagues Cup final. So is he going to be one of those superstar players that says, hey, I did my job. I'm good. I scored my goal. Or is he going to do his best to get this LAFC team from this, oh, we lost the final, what are we going to do? No, you got to come back. You got to score 3 or 4 against Houston because you're Giroud, you're LAFC. You have this name now. You have these expectations. And don't get upset if fans come trolling at you because you dished it out when you won trophies. Okay, so now that you are a choke artist a bit, fans are going to come out you and you experience high days. And right now, unfortunately, LA, you're in the lows. You're in the lows, but you have the firepower, you have the ammo, and able to get out of this situation. And like I said, it's going to tell me what Giroud came to MLS, to LAFC to do. Is he going to be that player to get this team out, or is he just going to be like, I did my job, I scored in that final. It's up to you guys. So we'll see what happens.
That man, those vibes are like strong Freddie Ljungberg vibes when he was in Seattle. I think you guys remember that shit, bro. It was like I was actually really pissed as like an Arsenal fan just seeing his attitude towards everything in MLS. And I was right. Like that happens when you get some of these players who come over and act like they're doing MLS a favor by being here. I think Zlatan's probably the only one where you look at him and I think he knew he was doing MLS a favor, but just said I'm fucking Zlatan and I ball. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna do it.
Didn't Zlatan or Giroud reveal recently that Zlatan, kind of persuaded him to come to this league because it was a quote-unquote strikers league? Well, let's see. Yeah. Let's see, Giroud. Let's see if you're able to score the goals to get the LAFC side back on track to winning trophies because there are expectations for this team now, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. We're going to see Giroud score a hat trick and point to the camera. Just
and I think some people that may have not watched Giroud, throughout his whole career, I think probably may have a little bit of misleading. He is not a striker that's going to score crazy goals and a lot of goals. He's more of those strikers that will, play his part, but the left and right forwards are the ones going to be the superstar because he's more of a holding striker.
Maybe at this point of his career, but I think isn't he like the all-time leading goal scorer for France? So
yes, but if you think about it, though, the midfield that he had, he had the Pogba to serve him, Griezmann, so it wasn't that difficult for him to get served.
I would say in MLS, you got Bouanga feeding you. You got tell me when he comes back. You got Bogusz feeding you. You have Ilie Sanchez.
Bouanga
but you see the name that you named compared to the one he had for the World Cup is like.
And I remember don't you remember his Montpellier days before he moved to Arsenal? Like wasn't he almost at 30 goals? And this was back in the mid 2010s.
Yeah, but Montpellier was stacked too. That's when they were always competing for league titles.
Yeah,
I
see what you mean. I still expect him to score though. I still think he needs to score goals. I agree, or at least just give them an edge they didn't have before. Like in some form or fashion. Maybe you're winning more balls on set pieces that lead to goals. Like just something because I think I don't know, bringing in a name that big and not doing anything with it would be a damn shame. It really would. And I'm not saying it would cost Cherundolo his job, but there'd be more criticism coming his way if Giroud did not perform or at least live somewhat up to the expectation. So
he's not going to let the lid on fire, though.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll find out. If he doesn't, though, I mean,
hey, this is my countryman, so I would just say he's not going to let the league up. Griezmann, that's a whole different discussion. Depending on where
Griezmann comes, bro. If Griezmann comes, it's going to be France 2.0, just like Barcelona 2.0 is down in Miami.
Yeah, LA's still trying to recruit me, but I'll they can get all the French people they want in that team. It's still not going to work.
I like that, bro. I like that. All right, man. So look, let's wrap up this game before we go on to the last two here. LAFC, Houston. I'm not gonna lie. I need Houston to lose this one. I'm gonna take LAFC. I'm gonna take LAFC 2-0. I need Houston to lose.
Well, you know what? I need LAFC to lose because we need to make a gap before they catch up with the game. So Houston 1-0. Or you know what? Actually, let me bring some of Hector's draw into this, so that way.
I think we found out that doesn't work anymore.
The cycle was broken this past weekend, bro. It was broken. All good things come to an end.
Now I'll go with the hot take. Houston wins 1-0.
Damn. All right, 1-0 Houston. Hector.
I'm you know what? I'm honest. That's one thing I'm pretty good at. You know, I don't say anything too stupid these days. So I'm gonna say a 1-0 for LAFC.
All right, Mo.
I'll say 3-1 LAFC.
Oh wow, okay, 3. And then Ednan, just say LAFC, bro. What's the score?
LAFC, I expect a thrashing from LAFC. I expect them to come out absolutely running at the gates, bro. Are you kidding me? All the money spent, all the talk, all the chatter, bro. You have to go out there and beat Houston, bro. And Houston, you know, Hector spot on, you know, just calling it 1-0. Could be more than that, but Houston, of course, has pride. They got a city to play for, but I think in the end, LAFC wins this.
Hernan not beating allegations.
Yeah, I don't think he's beating those allegations, bro. I think he's consistently LAFC on this show.
It's tough not to be
outside of Austin FC, of course.
How about all the Texan team just tie or lose? How about that?
No? Possible. But I don't see it happening. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Austin probably has the best chance to win, just considering who everybody's playing. But we'll see. All right, moving on to a rivalry matchup this weekend. Portland hosting Seattle in the Cascadia Cup. Actually, you know what, man? The first Cascadia Cup of the season was a good one because it was such an upset, right? Seattle took down Portland in Portland. I wanted to ask Xiaoyan why they're doing it in Portland again. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. It's back-to-back games in Portland. But either way, Seattle have turned the fucking corner, lads. Turned the corner as a team. They're now top 5 in the West after one of the shakiest starts we've seen out of that team. Xiaoyan and other fans were calling for maybe even Schmetzer out at that point. He's kind of turned it all the way around. All credits the SC Dallas comeback that they had against us. Probably the start of that whole cycle, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, man, I mean, this should be a good game. A good game now. Two teams that are really kind of fighting to cement a good place in playoffs. I think Seattle's experience will show here. Let's start with Honda first on this one, bro. I'm kind of curious, Honda, for your take on this, because, bro, Seattle's creeping up here, man. I mean, are you a little more confident in this team now?
Listen, Seattle, you never want to count them out. Just like DC, you never want to count them in the season, right? And they're proving it to us right now. Seattle, right? They did start off a little bit shaky, but then after those Galaxy games, the 2 that they had, I was like, you know what? Maybe they could do something here. They started cooking. They're in 5th now. They're above Portland as well, too. I don't know why they're playing in Portland again, though. That's the thing. Did they not
Was
have
there a makeup game? Maybe there's a makeup game that we're missing that was supposed to be in Seattle. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, right? Again, Portland at home, they are very strong again, right? Although versus St. Louis, you know, they had their ifs, right?
That comeback was crazy. I don't know, man.
Don't want to talk about it.
The free kick was insane.
This is going to be a very good game. I think, I don't know from Seattle's side, but I'm hoping that there's a lot of goals again. I think maybe a draw, 3-3, honestly.
Bro, that'd be crazy. Which means that Portland would take 4 points out of 6 available against Seattle in this season. That would push Portland up a little bit in that Vancouver spot, depending on what happens to Vancouver down in Austin. So this is a big game. You know, there could be some shifting in that part of the table in the middle as teams are kind of fighting for that top 5, top 4 position. And both of these teams want to be there because I feel like you have a little more control going into the playoffs. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Hector, how you feel about this one?
Oh man, this is always a fun matchup to watch. I thoroughly enjoy watching Portland and Seattle. I mean, there's so much history, right? Like this is going all the way back to before MLS even was a thing, and I think that these two teams always feel like they put on a good show. Both of these teams right now really impressing everybody right now. I think things are kind of clicking for Seattle finally, and Portland. You know, I mean, a 4-4 draw, kind of on brand for what we expect from Portland this season so far. So I mean, this is I think it's shaping up to be a very interesting final half of the season. I really can't wait to just keep bothering Xiaoyan. You know, I think of all things, this is just the best part because he was just so down bad. And just didn't want to give any hope to this team. You know, we tried to give him some hope, but he said, no, I don't want the hope. And here they are.
He's taking the draws. He was taking the draws. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, but I kind of see his point. Like, bro, if you look at this head to head, So Seattle won. They broke a crazy streak. Prior to the last game, they had not beaten Portland since August of 21. So it's like, bro, I get it. Like when you watch your team just lose to your rival, like constantly, time and time again, like for multiple years in a row, it's like, bro, fuck this. Like I'm depressed. You know, I'm down horrendous right now. So I get it. But now I think he still kind of makes excuses. But I always just find it funny because I'm just like, bro, your team's literally top 5 in the conference right now after starting off like near the bottom of the barrel. I don't know. It's pretty impressive.
He needs to make his way back onto the show, man. Come on.
He will soon enough, bro. He will soon enough. He's had his own interesting, I think, run with MLS fans this season. You know, obviously considering how he's been about, you know, felt about the team for a little while now. So, but yeah, man, Xiaoyan will be back on the show soon. But let's get the predictions going all the way around, man. Hector, you were just giving your take, so I take it you're backing. I want to say you're backing Portland on this one. I could be wrong though.
You know what? Portland always ends up finding a way against Seattle, so I'm gonna give it to Portland. I think it's gonna be a 3-2 win for Portland.
3-2 win for Portland. By the way, Seattle is unbeaten in their last 4 away games. That's kind of crazy, by the way.
Yeah, but Xiaoyan knows when they go to play in Portland, it just doesn't. It's a recipe.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a recipe for
Xiaoyan knows. You know what? Hashtag
Xiaoyan knows. Ednan, how do you see this one going, bro? I mean, this one will impact all of us, I think, that are fighting for playoffs in some form or fashion.
No, it definitely will impact everything going on. I mean, just like I mentioned earlier, Portland is a team that Austin has to see soon. Seattle looks like, you know, they're not in our plans for the games that are left. However, I do want to say this on the Rave Green Boys is that this is typical Seattle. I mean, just questionable first part of the season. I mean, how many times have we seen this movie? You know what I'm saying? Like they kick it up right around this time. So this is going to be a really good game. This is not a snooze fest for me. I think this is going to be a great display of MLS football. I'm not going to sell you something like, oh, this is a Liverpool versus City. No, but this will be a good game, right? Portland has the firepower to score goals. Evander, dude, I mean, what are they putting in that guy's cereal? Evander is a great player, man. I mean, he's absolutely going off right now. But like I said, you know, Seattle has their problems at the beginning of the season, but it's good to watch Seattle at this point of the season. So I'll be tuning in. Who do I think is going to win? I see a draw. But give me a 2-2 in this one.
I can see that too, actually. The head-to-head, by the way, is in the slightest favor of Portland. It is 19 wins to 18 in favor of Portland, 9 draws. So it literally could not be very much closer than this. I think Portland's going to win too, just because it's – dude, I honestly thought after it was 2-0 the first time, Musa, you know, in this past game against St. Louis, when it was 2-0 after that PK, I was like, honestly, man, I feel like Portland may come back and score 1, but – they may just chalk this game and mentally move on to the Cascadia Cup. And the resilience, man, the ability to come back multiple times in a multiple goal deficit. I don't know. It makes me feel like they're just never out of a game. And at home, they could be down to the legend Jordan Morris and Seattle, you know, early, and it may not even matter. Like Evander might have something to say, Capacita might have something to say about that. I don't know. I think it'll be a high scoring draw. I was gonna go with Portland, but the more I think about it, I think it's gonna be like a 3-3. I think it'll be a crazy game. Portland may even go down 3-1, and it won't fucking matter. They'll come back and find a way back into it. So that's my take. I'm right there with Ednan, at least in terms of end result. Who hasn't given one?
I think for my part, knowing that I've seen Portland play twice against City, almost back-to-back because there was Club America in between. So the first, I was not as impressed as you guys probably maybe are, where, you know, the whole 4-4 draw, I think that was more based on City just staying back and trying to defend more. So Portland had more opportunities to take shots. And I think they had, 20-plus shots taken. So, you know, you take that many shots, you will score goals. But, you know, at City Park, it was a 3-1 loss to St. Louis. So it looks like we had the upper hand. It's just maybe City got caught sleeping towards the end. But with Seattle, what I'm seeing is that they are scoring goals and not letting the other team let them win the game. They're taking it themselves. So just based on what I've seen from Portland the past 2 games, I still have to give it to Seattle to probably win it 2-1. But if Seattle decides to just, hey, we're just going to hold off and let Portland try to score, then it might end up being a high scoring draw. But yeah. I'll say 2-1 Seattle unless
Seattle's, I think, a really interesting play right there. I think Jordan Morris will have something to say, like you said, for sure. Is Hector the last one or Honda? Who hasn't given one?
No, we've all given one. I said 3-3 as well in the beginning.
3-3, 3-3, 2-2, and then Hector has Portland winning.
2. Yep.
Yep. All right, lads, we'll see. Mo is the only one there back in Seattle. And finally, speaking of Mo and, of course, St. Louis City, I had to call this one the Marco Royce Derby, you know?
Who?
I like
man.
this one, bro. He kind of took a look at Seattle, decided that not Seattle, St. Louis, and decided that it really wasn't for him. Maybe he looked at Seattle. I don't know.
Wifey said it was not for.
Yeah, the Berkey persuasion game just isn't top tier. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he has to work on that a little bit. His sales game, but he did end up with the Galaxy and looked like he kind of, for the most part, fit right in. Obviously, was able to contribute to the attack in a very apparent way. Very clinical win for the Galaxy over Atlanta, and then of course we talked about it already, right? That crazy 4-4 draw against Portland, and they just put St. Louis in an interesting position, right? Because I see a lot of hype on the timeline regarding some of St. Louis's signings. I think that it's great debuts. I think great performances that we've seen for the first few weeks. But how do you then take some of that momentum, individual player-wise, Mo, and translate that into a performance at home against, right now the top dog in the West? LAFC had a few games in hand, Honda, so relax. But yeah, I mean, I think, going up against the top dog, I mean, and the fact that they kind of snagged Royce away from you guys. I mean, I don't know. Is any of that motivation? Like, what goes into this game for you guys mentally right now?
So I think for City alone, there's like multiple factors that comes into it.
Sure.
So the first one is that it will be a packed house because that's every supporters are back. So that's going to be that one atmosphere where those new players have never seen what it is like. But then if you watch Hartel, he had 3 assists against Portland, which it's pretty hot now. So it's just one German versus 3 new Germans that plays in St. Louis now. So, and LA was still the hot commodity when they tied in LA when they came back. So now LA gets to face a brand new team, because if you were to stack St. Louis, at the beginning, and now it is a totally different team, including the coach, of course. But I think it will be quite an interesting way of which St. Louis comes up on Sunday.
Yeah, I think form's super important. Keep in mind, in the last 5 games for both teams, St. Louis has scored more than LA. Now, I don't know. I didn't read into opponents for that, but they've scored 12 to LA's 10 in the last 5 match span across all competitions. And then you look at
Club America.
Yeah. And then you just look at the fact that Galaxy have been known to have hiccups on the road. They lost at Dallas. They lost at Austin. Did you guys lose to the Fire this season too?
We lost the Fire.
Yeah, it's just little hiccups here and there where you feel like, maybe mentally they chopped it up as a dub before the first kick was even, kicked off, right? So I don't know. I think it's really interesting. The fact that, these two teams also, by the way, for those who have not kept up with the head-to-head, they played each other 3 times, and there has never been a victor. There has never been a winner in this head-to-head. It's been 3 straight draws. And so going into this, I expect that to change. I think it's kind of a trap game. I think it feels like that to me. Like, it feels like St. Louis City has a chance to, at minimum, take a point. Hopefully, if you're a St. Louis City fan, 3. But I don't know if I can just automatically say that with where you guys are versus where the Galaxy are. But I could see it. What about you, Honda?
This is definitely a trap game. And if we've learned from the other games that we've said, oh, we should beat these guys, but we didn't. We even lost to them. Austin, Dallas, Chicago Fire, right?
Yeah.
We got to go out there and we got to actually play to win. Because obviously, again, as you said, LAFC have 3 games. What is it? 3 games in hand, right? As well, too. And if they win all those, they're on the top. They're the top dog.
And keep in mind, too, Ricky Puig going to be out for this game.
Good.
I mean, we got replacements there, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
what we need is on the defense. The defense need to have great focus because, again, St. Louis, if you've seen some of the results, they're just bagging goals. It's not like they can't bag goals. As long as they get their defense in order as well, too, they could win this game as well. I'm still going to back Galaxy, though, right? Maybe like 3-2, 2-1, right? But I could definitely see St. Louis winning 2-0.
2-0, Leuven would have to have a hell of a game, I think. I think Leuven would have to be spot on. Hartel would have to be pretty spot on, too. Just carry some of the form that he had from last weekend. Yeah, a shutout dub at home would be kind of crazy. It really would. But it is on par with what we've seen from the Galaxy already this season. So, Hector, what about you, bro? Is this any more straightforward for you?
I can really see a draw happening here. I think I think that this is one of those games. I know, Moose. You don't want to.
We've seen enough, Joel. We've seen enough. Enough of those
Heck, I
things.
thought we were friends, bro. I thought we were
Yes,
friends, man.
enough.
I can't mix up with emotions here, guys. I gotta keep it straight. I'm not
Fair
delusional by any means. It's not like I picked Orlando to win the MLS Cup.
Fair enough. That's all anybody needs to know if you're watching Hector on Wake Up MLS for the first time. So I like that. Ednan, bro, we've seen both of these teams play. You've, being an Austin FC fan, seen what it takes to rally the troops and take it to a top contender in the West and get a dub at home. How does St. Louis City do it?
Man, you're gonna need everybody on point, and you're gonna have to have a good performance from your defense. Your goalkeeper has to be, on 100% on go mode. And I don't really have much to say on St. Louis. I know that they were very popular last season. This season has been, I don't know if it's a wake up call, but it's just been a very different look of what we know from St. Louis, but I'm not ready to just write them off. I still think that this is a very talented team, and just like you said, Leuven has to be good. He is a good player, so he just has to be himself. You know what I'm saying? Galaxy is a team, and this might be a hot take. What I'm gonna say is, I think we're at the beginning of the old Galaxy days, with the addition of Marco Reus. This guy already getting a goal and an assist. I think that's a bit of a foreshadowing factor of what's to come for this team. I know they're not going to have Ricky Puig, but once they get him back, talking about long term, this is a team that could be scary in the next couple seasons. Just keep a close eye on them. Not only have they gotten better on the pitch, I mean, you all know here, they've also gotten better in the front office, and that's really helped them. Try to make that change of chip. This is going to be a good game. I see it a lot like that Seattle-Portland game. It's not a Clásico like that other match, but this is, one of those just high-talented, high-power matches when I'm talking about player talent, right? So, unfortunately for my GMO football, I see LA taking it. I think that they're going to continue their form. They just won against ATL. And St. Louis, they're just not going to have enough to beat this LA Galaxy side, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Man, Mo, I still want to pick St. Louis, man, but I just can't. I'll be honest. I think you guys get a point from this. I think it's going to be a scenario where, again, for the second weekend in a row, you cough up multiple leads. I think it's going to be a scenario where you're up 1-0, the equalizer comes in, you're up 2-1, and they find a way to equalize again on the road. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. That just goes back and forth, which should make this game great for neutral fans. But yeah, I think against a team this good, it is difficult to make that jump all in the span of 1 week, and with the amount of injuries that St. Louis has, integrating new talents as far as signings go, still working on it. You have a star-studded roster with the Galaxy. I think it's just going to be a little bit difficult. And in order for you guys to get the win, LA Galaxy would just have to be playing at a lower level than what we've seen them play. So I'm going to go 2-2. Did we get ready? Everybody's prediction on that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that.
I don't think Mo's giving me one.
No, not yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
So realistic or biased? Which way do we go?
Well, so I'm always like in the middle. So I guess the Musa, which will be more of the St. Louis fan, I'm probably expecting, more. I'll say 3-2 St. Louis.
Okay. I actually don't mind. That's not crazy. Like I said, this game has trap game potential written all over it. Like it really could. It really could be.
Yeah. And people are saying there's a lot of injuries. Actually, we have only one official out, which is Celio because of his broken leg. But Klaus is coming back. Arms is coming back. So these guys are there, almost available. So the outlook looks a little bit better for us.
Sure.
So, but it's LA Galaxy. So I'm just hoping they made it a very hostile environment for Royce so that he remembers the choice he made.
We're gonna hear boos on the ball every single time he hits it, every single time.
Just there's plans. It's recorded. You'll see. There's people are prepared.
The timeline's gonna be spicy on Saturday.
Yes.
I like that. Or Sunday. Sorry, Sunday for that game. Sunday.
So I will say a 3-2 St. Louis because the new boys, new stadium, they've never experienced that. It's going to be different, and someone needs to break that tie.
Yeah, there's got to be a winner in this head-to-head at some point. So we'll find out. There you go. You have our predictions for the final preview match of the video: St. Louis City versus LA Galaxy. All right, let's move into the last segment of the day, lads. Quickfire predictions as usual. So again, if you're new to this, we'll go really fast. Give our prediction for each one of the remaining matchups of Matchday 30. We'll get the hell out of here. All right. So first and foremost, Charlotte, Atlanta,
Charlotte
East. Yeah, it's at the bank, man.
Masterclass.
Charlotte.
Yeah, it's got to be Charlotte. Got to be Charlotte all the way through. Yep. All unanimous on that one. Cincinnati hosting Montreal. Bro, Montreal just got their asses whooped. Ain't no way they're going to bounce back against Cincinnati. Yeah.
Let's see again. Once again.
Could you imagine the most MLS thing ever if they came back and like somehow beat Cincinnati on the road?
I'm saying Montreal.
Wow.
That would be the most MLS thing.
I cannot say Cincinnati, and then they got our old striker in Montreal. I live there, so I cannot say Cincinnati to win.
He's run out of loyalty. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna back Cincy. I think they'll get this done. The Red Bulls hosting the Union. Red Bulls been in a weird, interesting run of form. A lot of draws.
I'm gonna go with the Red Bulls on that one.
How funny is it that Philadelphia's one chance to get into the Triple C, and they lose to Colorado?
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I mean, good for Armas though. I mean, he kind of got validated a little bit. But yeah, it is. I love shitting on.
Of course, it happens to Philadelphia.
Chris Armas beats you to the Triple C. You can't make that shit up. I'm gonna go with Red Bulls. I can't stand the Union, bro. I'll be honest, and I don't think they're that good.
You know what? Just because, Red Bulls as well.
The vibes. Hector, you too?
Is Forsberg healthy now?
I think so. Yeah. Did anybody see he played in the last game? They drew again, but I didn't see if he played or not. But yeah, bro, they got the 4 draws out of the last 5 games. They've won 1 against Cincy, ironically enough. Yeah, I'm gonna back Red Bulls. Hector, it's good.
Red Bull New York.
All right, let's keep. Wait, Mo, did we get yours?
Oh, I say Philly.
Philly. Okay, damn. Going against the grain twice in a row. Here we go. Orlando hosting Nashville. This one's weird. Orlando, not interesting. I think Nashville's got kind of pissed off about how they lost to Austin FC. I actually think that they're going to come out swinging in this one. I think Orlando's better on the road. I'm going to say Nashville.
I'm going to go with the draw.
All right.
Give me Orlando.
So two Orlandos, 1 Nashville, 1 draw, and Mo?
I'll see Nashville.
There we go, my man. Another upset. Man, Mo, you're upset central today, brother. That's crazy. A lot of up. Although after last weekend, man, I don't even blame you.
I live on the edge.
Toronto hosting DC.
You know what? Give me DC.
Give me Toronto, bro.
Give me DC, bro.
DC.
Nobody saw what happened against FC Dallas. At home, they couldn't beat Dallas after having a lead. I don't know, bro. They got red carded after being down 4-2, but
they're scoring goals. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but they can't stop them to save their lives, bro. There's no defense there.
Weird as well too. If you notice the games, hey,
they shut out Houston on the road.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
The Dynamo shut themselves out.
That is the weird part. Fair enough. So I said Toronto. Who had DC?
Give me the 6.
All right. Ednon had DC, right? I think he did. I think he's frozen. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. I got DC. Correct.
Okay. And then Honda, you had DC?
Yeah, I had DC.
And then Mo, give me yours.
I got DC too.
Man, we're the minority, Hector. Holy shit! I mean, we're used to that though. We're used to that. Chicago versus Miami.
Chicago Remontada. Come on, let's go.
Hey, bro, there's gotta be a revenge game factor, right? They lost to Miami the last time. There's gotta be a revenge game factor here, bro. I stick up for Chicago, by the way, way more than John does on this show. I'm just saying that shit right now. He'll see the video.
Yeah, he's gonna talk about it and then come on and not do anything about it.
I know, bro.
I got a lot of things to say.
Proceeds to say nothing. I'm gonna go. I think you have to go Miami, bro. It's hard. It's hard. If I'm being realistic, it's probably gonna be Miami. It'll be close, like a 1-0, 2-1, something like that.
But no Messi, no party.
Messi having pizza in the stadium, by the way. You guys see that shit?
Hey, maybe they bring their bench. They're like high up on the table as well too. So.
Bro, at this point, though, it's like Chicago just does it to themselves, man. I mean, it was cool getting a draw against New York City FC away, but I don't know. It's very lukewarm. They could win this game and shut me up. I feel like I'm stuck.
Just for the MLS vibes, I'm going Chicago, bro. To have at least one, maybe. that pans out.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Chicago, Miami. Who else?
Give me 06 Barcelona.
I like that. I like that. Mo.
Miami, we gotta give it to them. They're
Yeah.
winning without Messi, so
Yeah, Messi can just do what he wants, bro. He's on vacation. I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys have seen that video, bro. He's literally just chopping it up with Suarez in street clothes, eating pizza. I was like, bro, he's American now. Holy shit!
Hey man, he had that Michelob Ultra and all.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, damn, he's American now, bro. Ednan.
Chicago, Miami. You know what? I'm gonna go with
I'll say Chicago.
man. I want to give my G John a bit of a shout out, a bit of a solid here, but nope, can't even do that, bro. Can't even
I like
do
that.
man.
I like that.
Give
All right,
me-
moving
give
He's
me
on.
gonna write
Miami.
notes about it. He's gonna write some notes.
He will write some notes, and then he'll probably come dressed in a blazer ready to tell us off. Dallas versus Colorado. You know who I'm backing. Got their first road win of the season last week. We keep the momentum going. We beat Colorado at home.
That's his test. This is a good test game for Dallas.
It's a good test game.
They wanna be in the
We're gonna make playoffs. Yeah, this is a great
Give
test
me-
game.
Give me Colorado all day, mate. All day of the week. Something to
anything
prove.
different.
Something to prove. Something to prove.
Something to prove. I agree. Hector.
Colorado, the Triple C bound. They're gonna go for more.
Zach Steffen, by the way, now getting U.S. men's national team shouts from his performances, not just at Lee's Cup, but a lot of it spiked there.
We haven't even hired a coach yet.
His agent's working double time on the PR front, bro.
What kind of
they're
shout
out
is
there.
he getting?
They're
from who?
out there. Honestly, to be fair, though, if there's a time for these shouts to happen, it is at a time when Ethan Horvath is playing terribly and Matt Turner can't even buy his way out of Nottingham Forest. So, like, at a time where keeper's a struggle position, this would be a time for Steffen comeback to happen. Mo?
I hate to say it, but Colorado.
You don't hate to say it. You hope all the Texas teams lose this weekend, bro.
No,
You already said it.
I do, but Colorado I have extra hatred for them.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes.
Oh,
we
someone hates
have
Colorado.
I don't
St.
know.
Louis?
Weird, right?
Oh,
Like
chill.
someone hates the Rapids.
hey,
One hates the
Colorado,
state of Colorado.
Cronky, St. Louis.
Actually, the Cronky shout's a good shout because there's a lot
That's
of
fair.
Arsenal fans,
And
who
then they
just
beat
like-
us as well. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
there's-
Fair enough.
It's
That's
just
well played.
Colorado,
Oh,
so
Jose, I
chill.
won't leave you on your ones. I'll go Dallas.
And that's your boy Farrington. Don't lie, Honda. Don't lie. That's a good shout, bro. That's a good ball knowledge. Good ball knowledge. All right. Salt Lake versus New England.
I swear to God, if New England go in bag 5 again, man, I'm done.
Is Orongo back?
Yeah. Oh no, didn't he get hurt in the game against San Jose?
Jesus Christ.
I could have swore he got hurt in that game. I saw him come off. Arango. I can tell you right now. Arango. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played and they came off. Yeah, in the 42nd minute, he was subbed off. I know he came off. It was like a small injury, or it was an injury. I don't know if it was small or big. So a question mark at a minimum for this weekend.
Look at me, Salt Lake.
All right, fair enough. RSL did lose at home to the Quakes 2-0, by the way.
Oh man, Bobby Wood revenge game.
Bobby Wood revenge game. That's true. That is very true. Off the back of 5 goals they just scored. I'm gonna take. I need a hot take somewhere in here. Give me.
Gotta be the one.
You already picked Dallas. What are you talking about?
That's not a hot take. What the fuck, bro? What? All right, that's it. That's hella disrespectful. I hope somebody on fucking FC Dallas heard that shit, bro. It's hella disrespectful.
What are you gonna do? Put me on no hire?
Put him on a fucking bulletin board. I want darts thrown at Hector tomorrow. I don't know, man. I think this is like a. Give me a draw. Give me a draw.
Hey, this is Bobby Wood's ex team, so
Yeah,
knows?
but even a revenge game factor puts New England at like maybe even keel with RSL. That's kind of where I'm. It's not enough to get a win away to RSL, in my opinion. So I'm gonna say a draw.
give me Salt Lake though.
Yeah, I like that's probably the smart bet. Ednon, Mo, how we feeling?
Salt Lake.
Man, you got to give me RSL. That's the easy bet. New England got a fluke win. Nick Lima even scored, bro. Come on, Nick Lima. No.
Yeah,
Salt
but
Lake.
hey, so San Jose got a fluke win too. They just
I
beat
mean,
RSL at RSL.
They happen, but San Jose, they have that. They made some moves in the transfer market where they got some players that at least makes me think, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh,
right?
bro,
But
Bobby Wood.
come on, bro, stop.
Hey, San
No,
Jose.
Shout out
man.
to Bobby Wood, though. Shout out to Bobby Wood. He was once a great player, but now, come on.
Somebody bring back
Respect.
the Bobby Wood USMNT shouts, bro. I need that shout again. All right, and then finally,
Screw that. Put the Nick Lima shouts.
yeah, I like that. And then finally, San Jose coming off one against RSL, hosting Minnesota, who lost 3-2 to Seattle.
Now here's my hot take, right? Because it's me as a Galaxy fan. They're gonna
Oh, that's not a hot take if you're a Galaxy fan.
bring out the Monarrogas again, and San Jose is gonna win.
The finger sniff was golden, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. That shit was amazing. You're gonna say San Jose. That's who you're picking.
Yeah,
but they're at home. I thought the hot take would be like
It's
Minnesota
San
got this.
Jose.
That's
Think
true.
about it.
That's true.
San Jose.
It's San Jose.
That's all you need.
I'm gonna go with San Jose because I need them to win. I need Minnesota to stay where they're at points wise, just in case something happens elsewhere in the table, right? So, I'm gonna back the Quakes. Give me like a 1-0 in this one. Anybody else?
Give me an Hernan Lopez masterclass.
That's the only thing going for them, man.
Yeah.
Promising 23-year-old.
Yeah, so promising. He gets mentioned in every one of our predictions for this fucking team. Every single one of them. All right, so we got 3 San Jose's. Hernan, Mo?
I cannot
Jose,
think
brother.
against Dean Smith. What? I was gonna say Minnesota.
You're gonna say Minnesota in this one?
Yes.
All right,
That's
fair
my hot
enough.
take. Dean Smith can't go against him, so
That's fair. All right, cool. There we go. We have it all. All right. Well, those are four San Jose's. By the way, that might be the first time in the history of Wake Up MLS that 4 out of the 5 panelists on the show have agreed that San Jose should win the game. So, or at least backing the team to win. Don't let us down, although you probably will. You might, San Jose. I don't know. We'll see. All right, lads. Those are our predictions for match day 30. If you haven't done so already, like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel. The season's almost over, but we're not there yet. We have plenty of content coming to the Goals TV channel between now and the end of the MLS regular season, and much more coming as we get closer to the playoffs as well. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's it. Those are our predictions for this week. Come back next week for match day 31, and we'll have some other interesting content sprinkled in there. But that's a wrap. So for everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name is Jose. That's Hector. That's Honda. That's Ednon. That's Mo. We'll catch you guys next time.